So the first thing you're going to think is, Patrick doesn't clean the weeds out of his herb garden. Well, that's true, but this isn't the herb garden. This is right outside the herb garden. And what I wanted to show you is that my Thai basil has it spread outside the fenced area. It's very prolific here. But the reason I'm showing this to you is that I'm going to be harvesting this to put in my remake of my Herbalist Blend. I've had several folks to reach out to me to remake it, and it sells out every time I make it. And so what I'm about to show you all when we go inside is a way that I have to simplify the process of making even more for you. But let me share a few things with you. So let's go inside here. This is just a little kitchen garden. It's not the primary garden area, but it's where I grow all my herbs. That's all this is out here are herbs. Well, and some strawberries, but they're an herb. No, I just like strawberries and I have some out here. So I have Italian basil, I have sweet basil, I have the Thai basil, I have a back over here, over there, that's some lemon basil. There are just several different ones here. And oh goodness, those little plants right there are there's some over there too. That's a wild melon that comes up here. They're called pocket melons. They're about the size of a 50-cent piece. They're just starting to bloom, so it'll be a while before we have any good melons on them. But anyway, okay, there we go. But I just wanted to show you that this basil goes to seed, the wind blows or whatever, and it moved outside the fence. And that's okay with me because I love it and I eat a lot of it, and we're gonna soak with a lot of it. So I'm gonna gather some of this and take it inside, and then we'll get started. All right, let's go. So I harvested, it looks like quite a bit, yes, but on the other token, I've already got some that I've already dried that I use. I save it for cooking in the winter. I freeze some in ice cubes with distilled water for using in cooking. Certain dishes where I like it a little fresher than dried. It is just a wonderful, I love basil, and well, I love oregano, I love thyme, I just love them all. So I'm going to put the top on and get this to be hydrating, and then we'll come back and we're going to grind this up. And this is going to be one of the star ingredients in the remake of my Herbalist Blend. All right, good. Well, good, everything's good and crunchy now. So before I put it in here, I'm going to get a bowl to put this in. Well, that kind of good stuff on the bottom. All right, so along with our Thai basil, I'm also going to be adding in ingredients that you saw me prepare in the previous Herbalist Blend. This is my own fresh dried and ground sage, thyme, rosemary, and fresh spearmint. Flaxseed powder for mild exfoliation and all the wonderful benefits that flax gives. Paprika powder. Did you know paprika comes from a pepper? It does. Isn't it lovely? Adds such a nice deep orange-red color I really like. Oh, I forgot my turmeric. Well, I'll bring the turmeric in a moment. This is elderberry wine that I have dried. I just thought it might add an interesting color. I guess we'll see. I've not used it before. And cocoa powder. I always use this in all my blends because it just adds the right color brown. There are other things, walnut hull, and I've used that in my previous blend, I think. But I like what cocoa does. It just gives a nice blend and it keeps the color really nice. And it just kind of brings all this together. So I'm going to go get my turmeric and then we'll put this together. So I've decided to go with 4 primary colors. I've kind of mixed things up here a bit. For instance, I did mix in my Thai basil with my other herbs, my rosemary, my thyme, and sage, and my spearmint from the garden. And I mixed my cocoa powder with my elderberry powder because I figured it's going to turn brown anyway, so mixing it with something else brown sort of made sense. My turmeric and my paprika. So these are going to be the 4 primary colors, and this is the the second mix of my essential oils with some kaolin clay, the flaxseed, so that I've got those here, and my colloidal oats, excuse me. So I just put all those in with the essential oils. Boy, what a mess that was, and an expensive mess at that. And I'm actually going to go ahead and mix this. This is my essential oils and my, well, I've already told you, the clays and the flaxseed and the kaolin, or the colloidal oats. Go ahead and get it there. I'm going to add in my aloe water and lye. Here's the new mold I bought. And I just realized it doesn't have a bottom. I didn't even notice that. They didn't put a... In the 18 mold, it also comes with a bottom that matches these and this, and they didn't put one in here. Well, everyone, I thought about several different things. I thought about lining it. I have some liner I was going to put in it. Hang on, let me straighten. There we go. But I just decided to spray it with a little canola oil and hope that that does the trick, because I have to get it into the mold here before it starts setting up. All right, so I'm going to pour down the base color. And I know I may regret this, putting it right down on the wood. Now Now keep in mind the scrum oil looks green now, but it will change color. Okay, I'm over mixing, so I need to get the dividers in. So unmolding this is going to be a booger, I can tell already. And I'd read that these were difficult, but I'm one for a challenge. So I'm always willing to try. So I'm going to try taking them out this way. Now, getting them out of here is going to be the big challenge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them sit for a bit. I'm going to let the air fill in all those little gaps and kind of harden up the sides, and then I'll come back and try to remove it. Well, I will tell you that this was a bigger challenge than I anticipated. And I will never use this mold again without putting lining in it. I thought I could take a shortcut with a little canola oil. And that didn't do the trick. They came out lovely, but they didn't come out lovely. Now what do I mean by that? I like the way they look. I think they're really pretty soaps. But getting them out of this mold has been a booger. So basically what I'm having to do is I've taken a spatula here and I'm just going up underneath them. It's not the most elegant solution, but it works. So he says, there we go. So what do you think? So it does leave a little of the edge behind where it pushes up underneath. It cuts off the very tip, the corners. But I will never do this again. And you know, it's a good lesson. Don't be lazy, don't take shortcuts, and plan ahead. Then because this was a brand new mold, I should have looked at it. The other one that I have, which is the 18 bar mold, has a HDPE, high density polyethylene liner in it. And it also has a silicone replacement, which I purchased when I bought that mold. This one, I just assumed, like the other one, would come with that liner in it because it came with the outside, came with all those, but it didn't come with the bottom sheet. And so I didn't realize until I was actually getting ready to pour the soap, my bad planning, that it wasn't there. So in the future, you can bet I will pay closer attention to purchases that I make. This was not an inexpensive mold. It was over $100, and I should have planned better. That's all. This was completely on me. I take full responsibility. I'm not blaming Brambleberry. I'm not blaming anyone. I should have planned better. I should have paid closer attention to how they have it listed. And they don't say that it has the liner in it. That was an assumption I made. So I'm going to work at getting these all out. Here's how they look. Don't they look great? They're just glued in the mold. So I will get them. I will go ahead and work on getting these all out. Let them cure so I can get them in the store next month. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you so much. You stick with me even through my flops. And the soap's not a flop, by the way. I'm very pleased with the soap. The designs are great. So I would call the soap itself a success. There are a couple of that got banged up when I first started here, but we're getting there. So have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you back soon. Goodbye.